When you're doing like a scene, say of violence, or you do like a scene where somebody's being domestically abused, the actors on set is one thing. There might be a crew member who has come from some kind of background where it's sensitive.
Yeah.
And you never know, you're working and suddenly you get triggered by something that's being simulated for screen.
Yeah.
So it's not strictly part of my KRA, but it is something that I would cater to, that if I see, and I'm always looking out for like, you know, crew members or anybody who seems like something's a bit off, then I would take them aside, you know, have a conversation with them.
So basically you have to be extremely instinctive.
Yes.
Because in the room you have to be aware to pick up every single cue.
Yes.
You need to know who's kind of, you know, feeling a certain way,
Yes.
whether it's the actor, whether it's someone who's the DOP or anyone at that point in time. You have to ensure safety of, as you said, data transfer. But what happens when, you know, let's say an actor comes later and says, oh, I didn't like how this went?
So the thing is that there are many different stages in your contract that you can really advocate for what is okay and what's not okay. And that's again something that I mean, right now it's on a very one-on-one basis, but when I mean an actor who's going to be doing scenes of intimacy within their project, like there are many things that you can add into your contract that I didn't know, that I've also learned, and now I'm like excited to advocate for myself, which is things like, you know, you can put into your contract that none of the scenes of intimacy show up in the teaser promotional trailers. That's huge. From like, you know, I think that's a really
Who would have thought about
Who would have
this,
thought
right?
about
like,
it?
That's new information. Even I didn't think.
Yeah.
That
Or
that's a
you can be the
possibility.
you can put into your contract that you can have a say on edit. You can see the scene before you know it's live. Things like that, which again, it depends on how successfully you can advocate for yourself. But the thing is that once you have consented to doing a scene and you have shot that scene within the constraints that were already explained to you by the maker, etc., then you cannot revoke consent. But till the day that you go and shoot that scene, you can revoke consent.
But as a newcomer, you don't have that much agency now because you're so scared.
We're not trying to create a safe space, we're trying to create a brave space. Because it is an office setting, if you really look at it. So when an actor or a crew member comes for a day of work on a set, I want to make sure that I am supporting them to do their job the best that they can. Because it might be a tough scene or whatever. So it's a brave space for them, because obviously there are power dynamics at play. If you're a young actor, this is your chance to, you know, make it. So, I mean, you can't disregard those things.
Bhi nahi hota na. As you said, you didn't know that these are things you could even add to your contract. These are things you realize with experience. But having the presence or being in the presence of an intimacy coordinator enables you to then speak up if you are not comfortable with something, perhaps.
And you can speak to the intimacy coordinator. You don't have to be the one having those difficult conversations. If something is, even something as small as, you know, my scene partner smokes and I don't like the smell of smoke when I'm going to be intimate with somebody. Even something as awkward and simple as that is a conversation to being like, hey, you know, I know this is the choreography. I don't want to do it for more than 2 takes. I'll go and have that conversation for you. But you don't need to be the bad guy in an already vulnerable situation.
But you know, this makes me wonder कि लोग पहले कैसे करते थे?
Makes me also wonder लोग पहले
because
कैसे करते थे?
actually all of this sounds so reasonable and so necessary. It's almost as though one cannot operate in the absence of this. But from what I've learned and what I hear, like Game of Thrones didn't have an intimacy coordinator.
Yeah, so I think even in the case of Game of Thrones, the actors have come out and spoken about their experiences. The thing is, like, I feel like there are like, as you move through the decades and as you know that, okay, there are these aids that are to your disposal should you want to use them, it just makes life a little bit more enhanced in the way that you want to live. Like 20 years ago, no one's doing therapy. It doesn't mean that those problems don't exist. But if there is an efficient way to deal with your problems, then why not? Like,
Naina, tell me something, I'm curious. You're an intimacy coordinator on a set. Okay, we're now imagining and painting this scenario. do you go and inform, let's say, the co-actors about what their boundaries should be, or what their boundaries for them are informed to you?
So how we go about it is that we have a workshop. Even if we don't go through the choreography in the workshop, what we do is set a baseline of boundaries, which is very important. So many times an actor who's super enthusiastic, you ask them, listen, are you comfortable? Are you uncomfortable? We'll do anything. Sure? Yeah, anything. Are you sure you don't have any issues? No, we'll do anything. Would you lick this person's armpit? Maybe not. Then you start thinking, because even like I feel like we don't have those conversations with ourselves. Like, and I felt this while doing the workshops. I was like, I actually have never thought about what my boundaries are. And especially as like an Indian woman, I'm almost in this like rhetoric where, okay, these are my boundaries, but chalega na if I step on them a little. You deal with it. How does it matter?
But you're also conditioned to believe. Na,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Then I was like, shit.
Adjust kar lo.
Yeah, it's my conditioning. Why should I adjust if I'm feeling uncomfortable? So we'll play a game of traffic signal. So traffic signal mein green is go, orange is maybe, and red is no. So I'll make the actor sit across, closer than we are currently sitting. We're sitting a little far away. But I will first map my own body, okay? So Bani, for you, as my co-actor, this is my boundary, okay? So green, 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 orange for you, okay? Green, green, red, red, green, green, green. So now you know that this is where I'm okay being touched, this is where I'm not okay being touched. So for example, if I've said, Bani, for you, my breasts are orange, means that there is a certain kind of situation which I'll be okay with you as my scene partner, touching me within that scene. Maybe I don't want to be grabbed. But I'm okay if you just
brush against.
So that's a really important thing. Do you want to try?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, show me your...
It's the same as what you did.
Same as me? Okay, fine. So essentially that, right? And what's really nice and we inculcate is that, and it's so nice, it's just general chivalry. I would like to do it in my day-to-day life also. But if I'm on set with you, then I would ask my actors to just take basic consent, even if you know what the other person is okay with. So if you and I are sitting across from each other and it's a love-making scene, I would just maybe ask you, Bani, is it okay if I put my hand on your cheek? Then that actor decides, yeah, actually it's okay. Bani, is it okay if I grab your waist? Then you decide. And so you're actively between those two people without involving the filmmaker, the platform, this, that, me. You are negotiating your boundaries and it makes both actors feel comfortable.